Hello, BSidesCLT. So happy to be here. It's an honor to share my presentation with all you guys today. Well, for those who don't know me, my name is Juan Carlos Paris. I am from Panama. I am a cybersecurity expert in technology innovation for more than 25 years. I currently live in Panama and work as a director in IT and banking, stock markets, and financial institutions. Now I work as a director of technology and data protection officer for a regional bank. In addition, I am an independent advisor and cybersecurity consultant for several organizations. I also ambassador of the Dojo cybersecurity community here in Panama, and you can see my T-shirt is a B-Sides Panama, part of B-Sides here in Panama. So you're more than welcome to come here to Panama to share your presentation in 2026. You can find there a QR of my LinkedIn profile where I share valuable content, updates, and news about technology, innovation, and cybersecurity every week. So with that done, let's go to our presentation. First of all, I have a liability, a disclaimer. All this presentation and session is for informational and educational purposes only. And any knowledge gained and should be used only for legitimate and authorized purpose. The opinions expressed during this talk are those of this speaker and do not necessarily reflect the view of their employees or any affiliated organization. Of course, this presentation includes referenced images and short clips for the following films that you can read there. And these materials are property of their respective studios and creators. Their use here falls fair use for educational and non-commercial purpose only. All rights remains with the original copyright holders, and full credit is given to the directors, writers, and productions company of each film. I have to say that this session is intended to promote cybersecurity awareness through cultural analysis and storytelling. So let's jump in 1984. I was thrilled to hear that this year, 1984, is the core of BSidesCLT. But no, I'm not talking about Owen's dystopian masterpiece. That book deserves an entire B-side conference of its own. Probably will be a good idea for Charlotte B-side 2026. 1984 was a book written by George Orwell in 1984. Yep, 27 years ago. And it reads like a prophecy, envisioning a world of mass surveillance manipulated through control and authoritarian control over information. Does that sound familiar? In many ways, he anticipates everything from social media profile to deep fake disinformation and invasive state surveillance. He was not just a novelist, he was a cybersecurity prophet before the term even exists. But today, we are not diving into Orwell's nightmare. We are jumping into the pop culture explosion that happened in the actual year 1984. 1984 was not just about dystopian blockbuster films. The same year, during the Super Bowl 18, Apple aired one of the most iconic commercials in the tech history. And it begins with this incredible line. On January 24, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh, and you will see why 1984 will be like 1984. It was a direct reference of Orwell's vision and a bold statement that personal computer will empower individuals rather than confront them. Let's see a fragment of this legendary commercial.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Well, guys, that is part of technology history in 1984. And that idea of disruption, awareness, and control over our digital world is what brings us here today. Because whether it's a killer a robot, a horror gremlin, or a phishing email in your inbox, the message is the same. Cybersecurity is not just technical, it's cultural, it's human, and we have been seeing it coming since 1984. Let's make a moment, let's take a moment to see how our workspace and our life has evolved from 1984. Wow, what a incredible video, okay? Let's see how closely you were paying attention to this video. Can you find one item that stay the same over the time? Of course, beside the desk. Don't tell me that is the desk. Well, yes, if you saw the Ray-Ban glasses, the Ray-Ban aviator glasses, original designed in 1937, you were paying attention. Some things will never change. Let's talk about the power of the cinema. Before we dive into cybersecurity lessons hidden with these movies, let's take a moment to appreciate what cinema truly is. Cinema is not just art, it's a collaborative masterpiece. Unlike most art forms, filmmakers bring together hundreds, even thousands of artists and experts from different fields. You have writers, musicians, makeup artists, engineers, visual effects creators, costume designers, sound technicians. The list goes on and on. They all come together to achieve one goal: to create movie that entertains and inspires, and sometimes, of course, educate. This is a black and white photo shows Stanley Kubrick directing a scene from his acclaimed film 2001: A Space Odyssey. We're talking about 1968. Kubrick is seen holding a cup of coffee while giving precise instructions to the camera crew and actors. 2001: A Space Odyssey is often celebrated as one of the greatest and most influential films in the history of cinema, particularly noted for its groundbreaking special effects, philosophical and visionary portrait of artificial intelligence through the character of the famous computer HAL 9000. Such history, cinema has been a powerful source of entertainment, but more than that, it has been served as a mirror to society, a tool of education, and even a warning of what the future might hold. From social commentary to technological prediction, movies have a way of teaching us lessons through history, visual, and emotion. And often those lessons about everything we face today: security, privacy control, and a struggle between freedom and authority. With that in mind, let's break down to the 5 and most iconic film from 1984 can still teach us valuable lessons about cybersecurity. 1984 was a very special year because that year Hollywood accidentally gave you 5 of the most unforgettable films, and hiding with them are powerful cybersecurity lessons that still matter today. First of all, we just want to talk about Terminator, directed by James Cameron. Yes, the same James Cameron that directed Avatar, Titanic, and other beautiful films. We will talk about Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, directed by Steven Spielberg, The Karate Kid, and The Gremlins, directed by Joe Dante, all part of 80s culture. Okay, so let's jump on. Let's start talking about first the Terminator, the danger of uncontrolled artificial intelligence. With this quote from the movie, I'll Be Back, the Terminator. The machines did not wait for the judgment day. They are already learning. The first lesson is autonomous threats powered by AI. The Terminator presents a world where artificial intelligence, Skynet, gains self-awareness and initiates a nuclear war to eliminate humanity. With a cybersecurity parallel, modern AI systems are increasing, evolving in a automatic decision making without proper control, monitoring, and the most important thing, ethical consideration. AI driving system can produce unattended and dangerous outcome. What is the lesson here? Well, implement a strong governance, ethical oversight, and continuous monitoring of AI system. Avoid the set it and forget it approach. Deepfake, another lesson of this beautiful movie. Deepfake and automated cyber attack. The T-800 Terminator is a perfect imposter, able to mimic and blend with humans. What is the cybersecurity parallel here? Today, we face threats from deepfake technology, capable of creating realistic videos and audios to deceive, manipulate, and blackmail individuals. What are the lessons we are learning from this? Enhance detection techniques, employ always multi-factor authentication, and educate users about the potential dangers of manipulated media. Lesson number 3 from the Terminator: ethics and control over AI system. Skynet Rogue naturalizes ethical question about the control of AI system. In cybersecurity, as AI becomes more integrated into critical infrastructure, the ethical consideration of autonomy and control must be addressed. The lesson for sure is ensure ethical guidance are built into AI system from inception with clear boundaries and human oversight. Let's see what the Terminator have to say.
I'll be back.
We don't want to see AI coming back to us like a disaster, like in this fragment of the movie. Okay, remember, the machines did not wait for the judgment day. They are already learning. And so are today's cyber threats, learning from our behaviors, adapting to our defense, and striking faster than ever. Okay, movie number 2, the Ghostbusters. Lesson: invisible threats can cause massive damage. And in the movie quote say, we came, we saw, and we kicked it ass. saying by Peter Venkman, one of the Ghostbusters. What is the key quote here? We cannot fight what we cannot see. Of course, unless you know where to look. The first lesson here is social engineer and phishing as a modern ghost. The Ghostbusters are often called upon to investigate invisible threats that general public cannot see and understand. With the cybersecurity parallel, social engineers operate in the same way, exploiting human trust, vulnerability, rather than technology itself. What is the lesson we can learn from this? Awareness training is so important, and be vigilant are essential to detect phishing attempts and manipulation tactics. Behavior monitoring and threat visibility. The Ghostbusters use like the Proton Pack and the PKA meter. I don't know if you remember the movie. They have this special unit that detects and neutralizes threats that otherwise were invisible. In cybersecurity, modern cybersecurity relies on detection, such as IDS, SIEMs, XDR, and behavior analytic. To what? To spot anomalies before they become breaches. What is the lesson here? Continuous monitoring and visibility are the foundation to effective cybersecurity defense. Number 3, SOC as the modern Ghostbusters. Yes, just as the Ghostbusters respond to paranormal emergency, a security operations center acts as the frontline defense against digital threats. In the cybersecurity, we have to provide 24/7 monitoring, detection, and response capabilities, dealing with the incidents that are often invisible to the untrained eye. The most important lesson we can find here is to invest in building a strong SOC infrastructure capable of detecting and responding to threats in real time. You cannot fight what you cannot see unless you know where to look. Visibility is the foundation of defense. Remember that. Visibility is the foundation of defense. In today's networks, the unseen is often the most dangerous. So,
we came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
If you are in a team and detect an attack and neutralize it, this is probably the best line for a blue team. Okay? Well, let's move on. Let's talk about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. What is the most important lesson here? Information, guys, is the real treasure. And the movie quote said, "Fortune and glory, kid, fortune and glory," said by the Indiana Jones himself. What is the key quote here? The true artifacts in 2025 are your credential and your data. First of all, protecting critical data access. That includes the Active Directory as the crown jewel. Indiana Jones ventured into dangerous territory to recover valuable artifacts. In cybersecurity today, the data is the new gold, and the Active Directory is the crown jewel that controls access to the treasure. It is a high-value target for attackers because compromising the Active Directory means gains the keys of the kingdom, complete control over our network, and then it's game over. What is the lesson here? Implement strong data measures, especially around Active Directory. This includes hardening, configuration, segmentation, auditing, multi-factor authentication, of course. I've been repeating this all the presentation, and constant monitoring to prevent privilege escalation and unauthorized access. Lesson number 2 from Indiana Jones. Indy, what's showing us here is defending against advanced persistent threats, or APT. And, of course, cyber espionage. Indy faces a series of coordinated traps, betrayals, and dangerous adversaries. In cybersecurity, an advanced persistent threat are sophisticated, multi-layered threats designed to infiltrate our network over extended periods of time. They are persistent and very dangerous. What is the lesson here? Continue monitoring, detect, and response to APT by enhancing the visibility, threats, intelligence, and proactive defense strategies. Number three from Indiana Jones, insider threats and trust management. Indiana Jones is often betrayed by those he thought were allied. In cybersecurity, we have insider threats, whether it's a malicious or accidental, are a constant risk to sensitive data and systems. What are the lessons? Implement zero trust principles, monitor user behavior, and apply a strict access control to mitigate insider risk. Remember, the true artifacts in 2025 are your credential and data. Digital treasure demand digital guardianship. Losing control means losing value.
Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
Fortune and glory is what criminals are looking for, but that fortune and glory belong to the good guys that protects our data Active Directory from these bad actors. Let's move on. Now we're going to talk about Karate Kid, now very popular with the Netflix Cobra Kai series. And this is very important because the key lesson here is preparation is the best defense. And Mr. Miyagi have a very nice quote that I bring up to you here that said, a man can catch a fly with a chopstick, can accomplish anything. Wax on, patch off. Discipline makes the defense. And what about Miyagi? He wants to show you what that cyber awareness and user training. In the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi teaches Daniel that repetition, practice, and discipline are essential to mastering defensive skills. In cybersecurity, just as Daniel practiced basic moves, remember, repeatedly, employees must continuously train to recognize phishing attacks, social engineer attempts, and other threats. What is the lesson? Regular awareness training, phishing simulation, and practical exercise are essential to maintain a strong and defensive posture. Mr. Miyagi always shows you attack simulation and gaming learning. Mr. Miyagi unconventional training methods simulate real scenario, teaching Daniel to react instinctively. In cybersecurity, conducting attack simulation such as phishing drill, penetration testing, and gamifying learning experience can help prepare us for the real-world threats. The lesson is gamification and simulation based on learning to make training engaging and realistic and effective. And finally, from Karate Kid, empower user as defender. Daniel ultimately becomes as a competent fighter, not just through training, but by believing in his own ability to defend himself. In cybersecurity, we can say empowering user to be the first line of defense is critical. With proper training and motivated, employees can actively contribute to the organizational security. You have to promote culture of proactive defense, where every user understands the role in the protecting the organization. And at the end, remember, wax on, patch off, discipline, make defense. Cybersecurity is an habit, not a checkbox. Train like you fight. Every click matters.
And when the fly started be easier?
I'll catch fly with chopstick. Accomplish anything.
You ever catch one?
Not yet.
Sooner or later, discipline and perseverance will win over everything. but don't trust in the beginner luck. And finally, we are going to talk about our last movie, The Gremlins, with the famous quote, right, 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 by the famous Gizmo. One small oversight and your system turned into a gremlin nightmare. Let's see real fast here. What are the lessons from the gremlins we can find? Shadow IT, insider threats, poor configuration, small things that can make big impact in our organization. If you remember in the Gremlins, the gizmos appears harmless and beautiful until mistakes are made. Feeding after night or exposure to water can result in a catastrophic and destructive creatures. In cybersecurity, shadow IT, insider threats, and poor configuration often seems minor at first, but can rapidly escalate into serious cybersecurity breach. Escalating of minor issues into major incidents. The gremlin multiply rapidly due to a small mistake and negligence. Cybersecurity parallel can probably, we can speak about small vulnerabilities or overlooked security flaw can quickly work as a snowball into major incident if it's not addressed properly. Conduct regularly vulnerability assessment, patch management, and prevent small issues in becoming into a full-scale breach. Access control and network segmentation. As the gremlin spread, they infiltrate every part of the town, causing chaos everywhere. In cybersecurity, lack of segmentation and poor access control can allow a threat to move laterally across the entire network, amplifying the damage. What is the lesson here? Implement a strict access control and network segmentation and continuous monitoring and contain threats before they spread. One small oversight and your system turns into a gremlin nightmare. Neglect the basic is like feeding gremlins after dark. Disaster is only one click away.
Seems like it.
Open that jar. Nothing, just works. Even annoying.
Mistake will always happen. The important thing is to be prepared for them. Well, we are at the final thought right now, okay? 1984 was more than just a year. It was a turning point into popular culture and technology. And we have a look back at 5 iconic movies of this year. The Terminator shows us the risk of unchecked AI and automated threats. The Ghostbusters highlight the importance of visibility and rapid response against invisible threats. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom demonstrates how the true treasures of our time is information and its protection, including the Active Directory itself. Karate Kid reminds us that discipline training and awareness are the foundation of a strong defense. And finally, the Gremlins warned us how small things can multiply and cause a disaster if it's not contained. These movies were not made to teach us cybersecurity, but if we pay attention, we can extract valuable lessons from every story. Use the wonderful tool to learn, and most important thing is to use movies to teach other complex concepts in a fun way. Because here's the truth: the real enemy is there. The real danger is sinking, and we are not prepared to have it. The battle with cybercrime is a battle that we cannot win. In the best case scenario, we can hope for honorable draw. Cybersecurity is a story we are all writing together. Every alert, every detection, every response is a chapter in our ongoing battle for security. Now it's your turn. Take this lesson and apply them. Train like a champion. Test your skills constantly under attack and collaborate, innovate, and build a culture of vigilance. Because at the end, every SOC is a team of Ghostbusters, every network defender is a warrior, and every security leader is an explorer, hunting for the hidden threats that could bring us down. Because 1984 is now. So, what will you do with what you have learned today? How will you turn these lessons into action? And the most important, are you ready to defend your kingdom against the threats that are already learning how to breach it? Thank you, Beside Charlotte 2025. It has been an honor to talk to you today. Bye bye.